Listen to me. Your time is not tomorrow. Your time is not next week. Your time is not when you feel ready. Your time is now. Too many people are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect set of circumstances before they step into the life they were born to live. But the truth is, the perfect moment will never come, because life doesn't hand you certainty. Life hands you challenge, it hands you chaos, it hands you obstacles. And in the middle of that, you decide who you're going to be. Right now, you have more power inside you than you've ever allowed yourself to believe. The question is not whether you have what it takes. You do. The question is whether you're willing to stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start claiming what's already yours. You see, time is the most valuable resource you have, and here's the brutal truth. It's running out. You don't get to rewind the clock. You don't get to replay today once it's gone. The opportunities you keep putting off, they don't wait forever. The dreams you keep saying you'll chase one day, they're dying every single time you choose comfort over courage. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? How many times have you convinced yourself that you need a little more preparation, a little more confidence, a little more clarity? But deep down, you know it's not about preparation. It's about decision. The moment you decide, truly decide, that nothing will stand between you and the life you want, you unleash a force inside you that is unstoppable. Fear will always whisper in your ear. It will always give you reasons to wait. But you don't break through fear by waiting until it disappears. You break through fear by taking action in spite of it. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward even when you're shaking. Even when your mind screams, "Not yet." Right now, life is giving you an invitation, and you have two choices. You can step up, or you can step back. You can rise to the moment, or you can let it pass you by like every other moment you hesitated on. You don't need another book, another podcast, another inspirational video to tell you what you already know. You already know what you need to do. The question is, will you do it? Your time is now to make the change you've been putting off. Your time is now to take the leap you've been afraid of. Your time is now to step into the version of yourself you know you're capable of becoming. The version that doesn't settle. The version that doesn't make excuses. The version that refuses to die with regrets still burning inside. So stop waiting. Stop holding back. Stop giving your power away to a future that may never come. Stand up, claim your life, and declare to yourself and the world, "My time is now." Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no such thing. The time to act is now. Too many people live their lives in a holding pattern, waiting for the stars to align, for the fear to vanish, for the resources to magically appear. They tell themselves, when the timing is right, then I'll go after my dream. When I'm more confident, then I'll take the leap. When I have more money, more support, more certainty, then I'll finally start. But deep down, they know this is just a disguise for hesitation. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not the ones who wait for perfect conditions. They are the ones who decide that imperfect action today is better than perfect action that never happens. They understand that progress beats perfection every single time. Think about it. How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers because you were waiting for everything to be just right? How many times have you told yourself you'll start tomorrow, only to repeat the same excuse the next day? Life doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards action. The perfect moment you're waiting for doesn't exist, because the world is constantly shifting. There will always be challenges, always be fears, always be unknowns. And if you let those be the reasons you don't act, you will find yourself in the same place a year from now, 5 years from now, maybe even 10 years from now, wondering why your life hasn't changed. The truth is, the perfect moment is created, not found. It's created by your decision to act no matter what the conditions look like. Waiting for certainty is a trap because certainty never comes before action. It comes after. Confidence isn't something you magically wake up with one day. It's something you build by doing the very things you're afraid of. The courage you admire in others didn't come from waiting until they felt ready. It came from stepping into the unknown before they were ready. And that same courage is inside you, waiting for you to tap into it. Every time you delay, you're not just postponing action. You're strengthening the habit of hesitation, and habits become identity. If you want to transform your life, you have to break the cycle of waiting and start building the muscle of decision. Because each decision to act, even when conditions aren't perfect, rewires your mind to believe in your own power. Each step forward, no matter how small, sends a signal to yourself that you are not someone who waits. You are someone who moves. The people who accomplish greatness are not more talented, more gifted, or more prepared than you. The difference is they acted. They took the leap while others were still thinking about it. They chose action over hesitation, courage over comfort, progress over perfection. They understood that waiting for the perfect moment is just another way of saying, I don't believe in myself yet. And the moment they chose to believe even a little, their lives began to change. You cannot afford to keep living in someday. Someday is a myth, a story that keeps you chained to the life you've outgrown. The only real day you have is today. This moment, right here, is the opportunity you've been waiting for. And yes, it may feel uncomfortable. Yes, it may feel uncertain. But that's how you know you're alive. That's how you know you're on the edge of growth. The discomfort you feel right before you act is the sign that you're about to step into a new level of yourself. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop convincing yourself that tomorrow will be different, because tomorrow is shaped by what you decide today. The life you want doesn't begin in the future. It begins the instant you choose to take action now. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and every moment wasted is gone forever. People often treat time as if it's infinite, as if they can always make up for what they didn't do today by doing it tomorrow. But the reality is, time is the one resource you can never get back once it's gone. You can rebuild money, you can repair relationships, you can even recover from failure, but you can never reclaim a single moment that's already passed. And yet, so many live as if they have an endless supply, putting off their dreams, their goals, their happiness for some later date that may never arrive. Think about how much of life slips away while we wait. Waiting for the right conditions, waiting until we feel ready, waiting for someone else to give us permission. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, and then one day you look back and realize how much potential you left untapped, how many chances you let slip through your fingers. The clock never stops ticking. It doesn't pause while you procrastinate. It doesn't slow down because you're uncertain. It doesn't rewind to give you a second shot. Every tick of the clock is a moment you will never see again. The most successful people understand this truth deeply. They value time above all else because they know it's the foundation of everything. They know that how you spend your time is how you shape your destiny. If you waste hours, you waste days. If you waste days, you waste years. And if you waste years, you waste a lifetime. Time is not something to casually throw away. It's the currency of your life. Every decision you make about how to spend it is either an investment in your future or a debt you'll regret later. We often underestimate the cost of wasting time. When you spend hours scrolling endlessly, telling yourself you'll do something meaningful later, you're not just losing those hours. You're losing momentum, energy, and belief in yourself. Wasted time compounds just like invested time compounds. Small consistent actions taken daily can build an extraordinary life, but small consistent moments of inaction, of distraction, of avoidance can just as easily erode your potential until you're left with regret. Imagine if you treated every moment as if it mattered, because it does. Imagine if you lived with the awareness that today is the only day you're guaranteed. How different would your choices be? How much more urgency would you feel to take that risk, to have that conversation, to start that project, to push past that fear? The illusion of unlimited time is what kills more dreams than failure ever will. The truth is, none of us know how much time we have left, and that reality isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up, to remind you that you don't have the luxury of wasting days, because those days add up. The goals you've been putting off, they're not waiting for you. They're slipping further away each time you delay. The person you want to become, they're waiting for you to step up today, not tomorrow. So ask yourself, how are you spending the most valuable resource you'll ever own? Are you investing it in growth, in love, in creating, in building a future that excites you? Or are you spending it in doubt, hesitation, distraction, and fear? The answer to that question will determine not only what your life looks like in the future, but also how you feel about it when you look back. Every moment counts. Every choice shapes you. Every day is a chance to move closer to the life you desire. And the only thing standing between you and the future you want is how you decide to use the time you've been given today. Fear will never disappear. You must move forward despite it. Most people wait for fear to vanish before they take action, but the truth is, fear is never going away. It's part of being human. It shows up whenever you step outside your comfort zone, whenever you aim higher, whenever you risk failing. Fear is the brain's way of keeping you safe, of keeping you in the familiar, even if the familiar isn't where you want to stay. If you keep waiting for fear to go away before you move, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. The most successful and fulfilled people in the world feel fear just like everyone else. The difference is, they don't let fear dictate their actions. They've learned to use it as fuel rather than a stop sign. They understand that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act while fear is screaming in your ear. When you act despite fear, you retrain your mind. You send yourself a powerful message. I am in control, not my fear. Each time you push through, the fear loses some of its grip, and your confidence grows stronger. Think about the times in your life when you were afraid but took action anyway. Maybe it was speaking in public, applying for a job you weren't sure you'd get, moving to a new place, or telling someone how you really felt. In those moments, fear was right there with you, but you moved anyway. And what happened? You grew. You became more than you were before. That's the paradox. The life you want is always on the other side of fear. You can't get to it by avoiding discomfort. You can only get to it by walking straight through it. Fear will always come with stories. Stories about what could go wrong, about why you're not ready, about why you'll fail. And if you listen too long, those stories will paralyze you. But here's the truth. Most of the things you fear will never happen. Fear exaggerates its lies. It convinces you that the risk is greater than it is. And even when things don't go as planned, you are far more resilient than fear wants you to believe. You've survived every challenge in your life up until now, and you'll survive the next one too. What people often don't realize is that fear and excitement feel almost identical in the body. The same racing heart, the same sweaty palms, the same knot in your stomach. The only difference is the meaning you attach to it. You can call it fear and let it stop you, or you can call it excitement and let it propel you. Reframe the sensation, and you'll find that what you thought was fear can actually be a sign you're stepping into something powerful. The truth is, fear is proof that you're aiming for something meaningful. If your goals don't scare you, they're too small. Fear shows up when you're stretching, when you're growing, when you're breaking free from the limits of your past. That's why you can't afford to run from it. If you run from fear, you run from growth. But if you face it, you step into the version of yourself that's been waiting to emerge. Fear is never going away because growth is never ending. Each new level of your life will come with new challenges, new uncertainties, new risks, and that's a good thing. It means you're alive. It means you're evolving. It means you're chasing something bigger than comfort. So instead of wishing fear away, embrace it. Make it your ally, not your enemy. Let it remind you that you're on the path of progress, that you're not standing still, that you're daring to live a life that matters. When you understand this, fear stops being a wall and becomes a compass. Wherever you feel fear, that's often the very place you need to go. Because behind that fear lies the breakthrough, the opportunity, the version of yourself you've been waiting to meet. And the only way to meet that version is to step forward in spite of fear. Success begins the instant you decide, not when circumstances align. Too many people believe they need the perfect plan, the right resources, or the ideal timing before they can finally start chasing their dreams. They convince themselves that success is about waiting for external conditions to fall into place. But the truth is, success is born the moment you make a real decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a someday, but a firm, unshakable decision that you will make it happen no matter what. A decision is powerful because it cuts off every other possibility. When you truly decide, you eliminate the option of retreat, the option of giving up, the option of waiting for things to feel easy. Most people never experience this level of decision making because they leave the back door open. They say, "I'll try." They say, "If it doesn't work, I can always go back." That's not a decision. That's hesitation disguised as effort. Success doesn't come to those who try. It comes to those who decide and then commit fully. Think about the moments in history or even in your own life when transformation happened. It wasn't when the conditions were perfect. It wasn't when everything was lined up. It was when someone decided. They decided to take control of their life, to take the leap, to stop waiting. That decision set a chain reaction into motion, creating opportunities, resources, and even luck that never would have appeared without it. The mind is powerful, and when you decide, it begins to work in ways you can't even imagine. Suddenly you see opportunities you would have overlooked. Suddenly you find solutions instead of excuses. Suddenly the fear that once controlled you becomes fuel to keep you moving. That's the magic of decision. It doesn't change the world instantly, but it changes you instantly, and when you change, your world follows. People often say, "I'll decide once I'm sure I won't fail." But failure is not something you avoid before deciding. Failure is a part of the journey after you decide. It's the stepping stone that shapes you, strengthens you, and equips you for the success you're after. Waiting for certainty is just another way of waiting forever, because certainty doesn't come first. It's earned through action, through persistence, through the relentless pursuit of your decision. Think of success like a locked door. Most people stand in front of it, waiting for the key to appear in their hand. They tell themselves they'll start moving once they have the key. But the truth is, the key is created by the decision to knock the door down, to search every corner, to refuse to walk away. It's the decision itself that creates the path. Without it, the door stays locked. When you decide, you become dangerous to limitations. Excuses lose their power because you've already chosen to move forward. Fear loses its grip because your decision is louder. Circumstances may not change overnight, but your energy does. And that energy begins to attract the people, the tools, and the momentum you need to keep going. Success is less about conditions and more about conviction. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness, and you'll see the same pattern. They didn't start with all the answers, they started with a decision. They didn't know exactly how they'd get there, but they decided that they would. That decision carried them through uncertainty, setbacks, and obstacles that would have crushed someone still waiting for the perfect conditions. A true decision is a point of no return. It's the moment you stop negotiating with yourself. It's the moment you stop asking if and start asking how. It's the moment you stop letting your circumstances dictate your destiny. And that's why success begins not with luck, not with resources, not with timing, but with the power of a single, determined decision. You already have the power within you. It's your decision to claim it today. Too often, people look outside themselves for the answers, the confidence, the strength, the approval they think they need to move forward. They believe that if they could just get the right opportunity, the right support, or the right circumstance, then they'd finally be able to step into the life they want. But the truth is, everything you need is already inside you. The power to change your life, to create a new future, to break free from limits, is not out there somewhere. It's within you, waiting to be unleashed. The challenge is not whether you have enough power. You do. The challenge is whether you believe it, whether you're willing to claim it, whether you'll stop doubting yourself long enough to use it. Most people underestimate what they're capable of, not because they lack ability, but because they've been conditioned to play small. They've listened to the voices of fear, the opinions of others, and the doubts in their own mind for so long that they forget their own strength. They forget that they've already survived battles, overcome obstacles, and proven their resilience time and time again. Every single human being has an inner reservoir of strength that often goes untapped. It shows up in moments of crisis when you're pushed beyond what you thought you could handle. Think back to times in your life when you were sure you couldn't keep going, yet you did. That wasn't luck. That was your inner power rising to the surface. If you could access it then, you can access it now. The difference is you don't need to wait for crisis. You can choose to claim it every single day. The mistake many make is believing they need to find themselves before they can take action. But you don't need to find yourself. You need to decide who you're going to be. The power within you isn't something that hides until the perfect moment. It reveals itself the moment you commit. It reveals itself when you stop waiting to feel ready and instead declare that you already are. The decision itself unlocks the strength you thought you lacked. Power is not about never feeling fear, doubt, or insecurity. It's about choosing to act in spite of them. It's about refusing to let those feelings decide the course of your life. When you recognize that you are the one holding the keys to your own freedom, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for guarantees. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You realize that no one is coming. You are the one you've been waiting for. The truth is, the world doesn't need a smaller version of you. It doesn't need you shrinking to fit into expectations or hiding behind excuses. It needs you to stand in your full power. It needs you to claim the strength, the passion, the creativity, and the determination that's been sitting inside you all along. That's how you not only change your life, but also inspire and impact others. This power isn't something you earn. It's something you own. It's been with you since the beginning. It's the same force that's gotten you through every challenge, every heartbreak, every failure, every setback. And right now, it's waiting for you to stop pretending it isn't there. The moment you decide to own it, you become unstoppable. Not because the world suddenly becomes easy, but because you finally stop doubting your ability to handle whatever comes your way. It's easy to look at others who have achieved greatness and think they had something you don't. But the difference is not that they were born with more power, it's that they chose to claim it. They chose to believe in themselves before they had proof. They chose to act before they felt ready. They chose to step into the strength that was already within them, and in doing so, they discovered just how powerful they really were. The same power is inside you right now. It doesn't matter where you've come from, what you've been through, or what you think is standing in your way. The real question is, will you claim it? Will you decide today to stop giving your power away to fear, doubt, or circumstance? Because the moment you do, the life you've been dreaming of stops being a possibility and starts being your reality.